All right, everybody, welcome back. Here we are here at our Nirvana album ranking. We only got, the four albums we covered, the Unplugged, which won't be ranked. A good little closure to one of them little midpoint, in between bigger discographies that we look at. So, yeah, we've got all those there. I thought I'd show off too, usually I show off like some bonus stuff I've got of them. Like, obviously, what we covered last time, the Unplugged. Then I've got this compilation here, just self-titled. And the reason to own this thing is because it's got the song "You Know You're Right," and it's one of the last songs, if not the last song, they recorded with all together. So, and when honestly, one of my favorite songs by the band. Period. Very cool and very modern sound. It makes you just wonder, what more stuff they could have put out, stuff, and how awesome it would have been, just like stuff like "You Know You're Right" off there. But yeah, guys, we just got four CDs here that we're gonna look at. Not a big ranking, of course, just a small one. And then at the end of this video, we'll announce what we're gonna be covering next. So stay tuned for that. But this one, I gotta say, this wasn't too hard for me to rank. I mean, I've always kind of had a pretty good idea of where I put some of the stuff. I mean, it's maybe changed a little bit over time, but not in any major way. It's usually stayed pretty consistent. But with that being said, let's see here. We've got number 4, my least favorite, is Bleach, the first one, which, and that's another thing. That's such a small discography, but each album's really great and has its own identity, and just has some standout moments. So I mean, Bleach is awesome. You can look at my review of it, love it. I love the heaviness, the gritty nature of it, the raw production. That is, like I said in the review, not quite as raw as I remember it being. Like it's quite a bit better than I remembered it having like almost like a 70s sounding like production, but no, really, I mean, it's raw, but like not to the extent I thought it was, which would have been fine either way. But I remember on this most recent listen, I was rather surprised by that. But such a great album. This is like, I mean, hell, this one came out in '89, right? So I mean, this was like, early grunge stuff going on, and there are some massive standout ones on here, like Blue, the opener, freaking awesome. Floyd the Barber, one of my favorites too. Just what a sick, nasty riff you got there. About a Girl, which is the biggest hit off here, but as you know, it was the unplugged version that really got that going and that's the version people mostly know. I love School, love Buzz. Negative Creeps, like one of my favorite Nirvana songs, period. Love that one. That one's freaking brutal. We got Swap Meet, Sifting, another one of my favorites off here, big time. And you've got Downer as a close. I mean, there's just awesome stuff all over here. Again, the heaviness of this one, really, I mean, it makes it such a cool listen. And, you hear, this is the only album you hear this lineup, too, with Chad Channing on drums and Jason Everman also on guitar. So that makes it. And I just now noticed here they spoke Kurt Cobain's name on here, Kurt, like Kurdt. I don't know if you can see it there, but I just now realized that looking at the back of this, kind of weird. Don't know if that was intentional by them or not, but. Yeah, very awesome album. I think it gets overlooked in the discography, even though, I'm ranking it at the bottom. I just think there's just stuff that they just got better. They did. But I do think that can go a little underappreciated. Like, people, even though it's my least favorite, I still really, really dig this album. Then we go with number 3. We've got Incesticide, which I know some people may not count, since it's like just pretty much a compilation of B-sides and stuff like that. But I mean, it's all material that wasn't on any of the albums. And they kind of, released it in between albums. So, and this one of the harder decisions I had to make was either this one or Bleach going above each other, but I had to land with this one because it's got, I just love the variety on this one. You know, you got Dive, just a really cool upbeat heavy hitter. You got Sliver, probably the biggest hit off here, and love that one. You got Been a Sun, kind of an upbeat, kind of punkier one. Same with Turnaround. Molly's Lips is awesome. You got the cover, or not cover, but alternate version of Polly, New Wave Polly. It's kind of like an upbeat version of that song. Big Long Now, Aero Zeppelin. I mean, there's just some really, really freaking good stuff on here. That, and again, there's like a little bit of each of their styles on here. You know, some of the more punky stuff, some of just like your stuff that you'd maybe think would be on like Nevermind or something like that. And then you got some of like there's the really heavier ones on here. So I mean, love this album. I think the variety is really what puts it above Bleach for me, because Bleach does kind of have that steady, you know, pace, or that steady kind of insane kind of vibe that it's got going on the whole time, same kind of tone that it's going for, but which isn't a bad thing. It's not a knock in the album, but the variety on this one really makes it stand out. I just think a lot of the songs on here are stronger. So then we go with number 2. And, you know, you can use process of elimination to see what number 1 will be, right? But number 2 is Nevermind, which I know is a lot of people's number 1. And I get it, because, I mean, ask me in high school or something, man, this would probably be number 1. I mean, one of the best-selling albums of all time. It's got to be. Smells Like Teen Spirit, you know. Yeah, I don't really need to hear that song very, very often. That's probably my least favorite on here, but it's not a bad song. It's just one of those that, you know, I've heard so many times, but that doesn't take away from the album at all, because you've got stuff like In Bloom, Come As You Are. I mean, Lithium, the very, you know, dark, Polly, you know, lyrically dark and just kind of sad sounding. Lounge Act, which is one of my favorite Nirvana songs of all time. I love Drain You, On a Plane, Something in the Way is a great closer. Every song off here, really, I could just list the whole thing because it's fantastic. What amazingly produced. And it also has that variety again that they've got on like Incesticide. They've got that going on here. With, you know, again, the more upbeat ones like, you know, Stay Away. Your softer ones, like more ballad-like ones, you know, like Polly and stuff like that, and Something in the Way. Then you've got ones that are just like straight up, I mean, Come As You Are has just got this whole feel to it, man, real dark and moody kind of sound. So this one also is just a freaking fantastic album. Absolutely love it. But when it boils down to it for me, my favorite is absolutely In Utero, and it's been that way for a long time now. Like I said, ask me in high school, I'd maybe say Nevermind, but In Utero for me, since like early college days, has been the top dog here. Again, the production is fantastic. I love the rawness on a lot of these songs that kind of sounds like some stuff from Bleach, but, you know, even better produced and better written. You know, you got Serve the Servants, one of my favorite songs. Same with Scentless Apprentice, is just freaking heavy as all get out. Heart-Shaped Box is one of the best songs I think they've ever done. You got Rape Me on here. Francis Farmer Will Have Her Revenge, another one of my favorites. Dumb, which is, you know, more of a softer one. You got Pennyroyal Tea. I mean, All Apologies, just all this stuff off here. This is another one I can just list them all because it's so freaking good. Most of the time, if I'm going to listen to Nirvana, it's either going to be this or that Unplugged, right? But I mean, I don't really want to rank that with it. It's technically a live album, kind of hard to do that, but that's typically over the past several years what I go with. If I'm going to listen to Nirvana, it'll be either this one or the Unplugged. However, you know, that other stuff down there, awesome stuff too. It just had been a minute since I listened to it. But this album, it also adds, has that variety as well, like such as Nevermind and Incesticide just has a lot of different stuff, a little bit of stuff for everybody on this one. So I just, it has my favorite Nirvana songs. Like I said, you can't go wrong with this one. It's a blast of a listen all the way through. It has great pacing, and I love just it feels like a very mature record for them. Bleach sounds, again, not to shit on Bleach, because again, I like it, right? But I mean, it's kind of a juvenile sounding record, right? Which is really cool. Like that helps that album stand out, and I like that about it. But this one, you really, with these 4 albums here, see the growth of the band, which, it's such a shame that it halted like that, because like I said on the song You're Right, off that self-titled, that sounds like a really well thought out song, or in like a really mature song for the band. So I mean, it just really makes you wonder where they'd go, because I think this album was such a great direction for them to go. I mean, this is a heavy record, with, I mean, like I said, Scentless Apprentice is some heavy stuff, radio friendly unit shifter, Tourette's, like some of those like deep cuts in there, Very Ape. I mean, those are some like heavy hitting ones too, and just some big, and even just like the opening track, Serve the Servants, even though it's got that really hooky chorus and everything, I mean, it's got like some screeching guitar stuff going on. You could tell everybody was just getting better at what they did, and the chemistry just continued to grow. So In Utero is absolutely my favorite Nirvana album. It's been that way for a while. I don't see it shifting anytime soon or anything, but you never know. Stuff happens. But this was a pretty easy ranking for me to figure out. While usually it can be kind of challenging, whether it be a big discography, figuring out where stuff goes, or a smaller one when they're all so great and it's hard to rank them. This one, they were all like stand out and have their own individual identities, like so that it made it to where I'm like, okay, I clearly like this better than this. Like it was pretty easy to get where these things put them where I put them. So anyways, guys, yeah, I want to see where you guys put these rank these Nirvana albums, and if you guys include the MTV Unplugged in the ranking, totally get it. I used to, but I just kind of realized it wasn't really fair, right? At least in my opinion. But if you want to rank it down there, go for it. And I'd love to see your guys' rankings, because I mean, like, for instance, my uncle, his favorite is Bleach. So the first one, when that's at the bottom of my list, but I totally see where he's coming from, right? But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, in this small little discography, some of your guys' thoughts and stuff and rankings of that down there. And with that being said, I'll announce what we're covering next. It's going to be some heavy stuff. We're going to be looking at Merciful Fate. So really hyped to be jumping into that again. I know they've talked about having a new album coming out at some point. We've not seen a single or anything for that. So is King Diamond. Like his solo band has been talking about that as well, possibly dropping an album. So who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky again. And during the time of this Merciful Fate reviews and ranking and all that, we'll get a single or something dropped, because that's happened a lot here in the past with Iron Maiden, Steve Vai, Metallica came not too far after. I ranked theirs. That they dropped 72 seasons not too long after that. So you never know. That would be pretty cool if Merciful Fate drops a single, and then we get to include that new album if it releases in time. Whenever I'm going to do those rankings, that way we can include that in there. But we'll just see how it goes. But I'm very pumped to look into some more heavy-hitting stuff like that. But anyways, guys, thanks so much. Like I said, let's talk about this stuff down there in the comments. And really looking forward to hear some of your guys' thoughts on Merciful Fate as we dive into them. So like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, guys.